for the #1 professional wrestling program in Atlantic Canada, Atlantic Grand Prix Wrestling. Hello, everyone. My name is Bill McCullough, and I invite you to join us for the next hour of the finest in professional wrestling, including 2 tag team matches, and we're going to be introducing to you today some new people that are coming to the Atlantic Canada area very shortly. So stay with us. We've got great matches coming up on our card today, including those 2 tag team matches, and without any further ado, let's go to the ring and our ring announcer, Gare Maxwell. Gare?
Thanks very much, Bill. And as you mentioned, another fine card here in Atlantic Grand Prix Wrestling. And a couple of game competitors stepping into the ring right now. And let's get on by introducing, first of all, the team to my left. I converted this man to an American. He believes in the United States of America, and he believes in Bassamania. Yeah! Ladies and gentlemen, from Hamilton, Ontario, although now subscribing to the American doctrine, weighing in at 228 pounds, Bobby Crawford. And his partner from Tampa, Texas, weighing in at 238 pounds, no class Bobby Bass. Their opponent from Niagara Falls, Ontario, weighing in at 225 pounds, Lou Garvin. And his partner from Beverly Hills, California, weighing in at 222 pounds, the very popular Buddy Lane.
Introductions now complete. Opening match on today's card of Atlantic Grand Prix Wrestling is tag team action. And Bobby Bass introduced a new term to the vocabulary of the fans of the Atlantic Canada area, Bassamania. Can you believe it? Starting off, it's Bobby Bass and Buddy Lane. The opening match on today's card of Atlantic Grand Prix Wrestling. Bobby Bass is up to his old antics with his tag team partner, Bob Crawford. And, of course, it's Lou Garvin and Buddy Lane. But it's Buddy Lane and Bobby Bass.
How about this one, Bill? Bobby Bass and Bobby Crawford, the Bobsey twins.
Yes, you could easily say that, Gare.
I'm not going to tell you who's writing my lines. No one wants to admit that. Buddy Lane and Bobby Bass don't have a lot of love for each other. In fact, there's a bit of a rivalry here that's developed over the past 2 years. Buddy Lane feels, and at times I think he's right, that Bass just takes too many cheap shots. Someone's back is turned, and Buddy Lane, of course, has been the victim of some of those cheap shots over the past 2 years, and consequently, it's no surprise at all that they wind up in the ring here in Atlantic Grand Prix Wrestling, opposing each other, and both after the same thing, a tag team victory.
No class Bobby Bass and Buddy Lane. Opening entrance in this, our opening tag team match on today's card of Atlantic Grand Prix Wrestling. Tag team action galore today. This is our opening match, and this, of course, would be a main event on any card anywhere with the talent that we have in the ring there today. And it's the opening match on our card today, so that'll give you some indication of what's in store on today's card of Atlantic Grand Prix Wrestling. Both wrestlers very timid about getting into the wrestling hold.
What a maneuver by Buddy Lane. He sidestepped Bobby Bass, pulled out a hip toss, and now another as he throws Bobby Crawford to the canvas. Body slam, and Crawford goes down heavily.
That's how you get cauliflower ears.
Tag Buddy Lane, and in steps Lou Garvin to take on Bobby Crawford. A headlock applied here by Garvin. And Garvin made a mistake there. Bill, in not applying the pressure, not keeping up the attack that Buddy Lane had established against Bobby Crawford. Garvin a little too careful stepping into the ring, I believe.
Well, you've got 2 young pros in there that we're certainly going to hear an awful lot from. Bobby Crawford and Lou Garvin against, or tagged up with 2 seasoned veterans, and there's one of them coming off the middle rope. Oh, class Bobby Bass using the ropes. Of course, by the time the referee gets there, Bobby Bass has got the damage done. Now he's showing his tag team experience, tying up the referee and getting Buddy Lane all tangled up in there, and while his tag team partner, Bob Crawford, comes in and dishes out some more punishment to Lou Garvin.
That's a tactic that we've seen used quite a bit in the past, Bill. Crawford comes down with an elbow on Garvin. It's how one partner will tie up the referee and distract the official so he can't detect the illegalities that are taking place behind his back. Now Crawford starting to establish himself here against Lou Garvin. Bit of hair pulling as Crawford looks to throw Garvin into enemy territory.
Lou Garvin ending up in the wrong corner. There's a tag, and in comes Bobby Bass, but not before Bob Crawford delivers a smash to the forearm of Lou Garvin. Bobby Bass, for some unknown reason, slams the fingers of Lou Garvin into the canvas, and then comes out with the expression, "You look like the Cuban." Well, again, as we indicated, Bobby Bass is a man possessed this year. Possessed with the fact that he wants to get at the Cuban, and everybody he gets in the ring with is the Cuban Assassin.
Tell you, Bobby Crawford seems to just relish this tag team role. He seems to be wrestling with a lot more confidence now that he has Bobby Bass as a partner. Crawford looking to make a name for himself, and
He's with everybody. You understand that, Bill McCullough and Maxwell? You understand that?
Oh, Bass, I think Bill is
shower.
Bass only too quick to trumpet his own horn. It's not enough that we're about to give him credit, then Bass steps in. Now we've got Bass tying up Garvin along the ropes as Buddy Lane had to be escorted back to his corner.
And as always, we have Bobby Bass in tag team action. Bass has had an awful lot of experience in tag teams, and he's passing some of that experience along to Bob Crawford, who's undoubtedly had much experience himself, but I don't know to the degree that Bobby Bass has had. Lou Garvin trying very desperately to get over there and get a tag from his tag team partner, Buddy Lane, and not able to do so. Buddy Lane got some leverage going his way and straightened a few things out. But
Nobody saw that.
No,
I didn't see any trunks being pulled.
Lou Garvin trying for the pin. 1-2. No, Bobby Bass is in to break that one up. Perhaps a little bit much to expect that you get a pin attempt off the ropes like that, although it has happened before. Look out! Bob Crawford. Nobody's there. Lou Garvin out of the way.
Now, if Garvin's smart, Bill, if Garvin's smart, he's going to get to the corner in a hurry and make a tag here with Buddy Lane. There we go.
There's the tag, and in comes Buddy Lane. A knee left for Bob Crawford. Whipped into the turnbuckle, looking to end the elbow, waiting for him. And here comes Bobby Bass. He gets an elbow for his effort. And a body slam. Beautiful uppercut by Buddy Lane. Buddy Lane says, put it together, guys. Down goes Bob Crawford. In the ring, and with no class, Bobby Bass is outside the ring. Flying elbow. Woo! You see him deliver that. Look out, mother.
What do you call that, Bill? A flying shoulder tackle? Buddy Lane.
Still, he might have had it on Bob Crawford.
Oh, no
If
question
Bobby
he would have
Bass
had it.
had
No question.
come in
Buddy
and
Lane.
interfered.
Buddy Lane all over Bobby Crawford.
There's a tag, and in comes Bobby Bass. Buddy Lane is suffering a bit. A reversal. There's a tag, and in comes Lou Garvin. And it's Lou Garvin and no-class Bobby Bass. Waiting in the corner was Bobby Bass. Flying headlock takedown. That could be it. 1, 2, and 3. That's it. That's all she wrote. That's what it took. Bobby Bass got Lou Garvin coming into the corner, met the knee, and of course, well, that's all she wrote for the team of Lou Garvin and Buddy Lane. Bobby Bass and Bobby Crawford successful in this opening match.
And I hate to say it, but you have to give Bobby Bass and Bobby Crawford the credit because they pulled it off legally.
That's right. Okay, we'll be back with more Atlantic Grand Prix Wrestling in just a moment.
Missing first of all from Moncton, weighing in at 235 pounds, Stompin' Paul Peller. And his opponent from Oklahoma, weighing in at 235 pounds, Sonny Warcloud.
Little opening stance to open up his matches. Referee Bernie Richard charged with the responsibility of trying to keep some law and order in the square circle as we introduce Sonny Warcloud and Stompin' Paul Peller. Sonny Warcloud. We'll find out what this man Stompin' Paul Peller is all about. Paul Peller now going to talk to the referee about something, I'm sure, relating to Sonny Warcloud's boots or his paint on his war paint on his face or whatever. Paul Peller will avoid the action as long as possible. A couple of friendly taps off the ropes, and we'll see what kind of response that incurs from Sonny Warcloud.
Paul Peller is a veteran campaigner. So he's been around for many, many years. He survived the wars. He's a survivor.
He's a survivor, and he's showing an awful lot of respect for this guy, Sonny Warcloud. I don't think I've seen too many times when Paul Peller would shake hands coming off the ropes like that, particularly when he has two opportunities to take advantage of that situation. I'm sure that we're not seeing a revamped Stompin' Paul Peller. His personality has changed a whole lot.
No.
We'll just see how long that lasts. Sonny Warcloud in the now very familiar war paint. Of course, wearing the long Indian moccasins. As a boot. Look like they'd be pretty comfortable. Like to have a pair of those.
Sonny Warcloud has been piling up the victories here in Atlantic Canada. Starting to accumulate a very impressive win-loss record. And, Bill, I think the question has to be asked, when will Sonny Warcloud get a title shot?
Okay, we got Stompin' Paul Peller and Sonny Warcloud and slap across the face. And not all that serious, but more insulting as opposed to serious. We'll see what kind of response that invokes from Sonny Warcloud, and he's incensed at the insult, I think more than anything else. We'll just see how he reciprocates. Stompin' Paul Peller with the armbar on Sonny Warcloud. And trying a takedown, he gets that leg hooked in behind and successfully able to get Sonny Warcloud down to the mat.
They say Paul Peller is short on talent, but he's a street fighter.
Well, he's got
willing to go. He's willing to go. He's a brawler. He's not going to give up easily. He'll not only bend the rules, but he'll break them if he has to. Right now, an arm lock being applied by Peller on Sonny Warcloud, but Peller's got to be careful. Warcloud has his right hand free as he backs into the corner.
Let's see what kind of a break we get here, and stopping Paul Peller pushes him off. He's not taking any chances. Of course, he's been around long enough to know that if you give him a chance, he's going to take advantage of it, particularly after some of his antics earlier. And now it's Sonny Warcloud with the arm bar on stopping Paul Peller. So we're working on the arms in this match. Some of the fans encouraging Sonny Warcloud to break it off.
That, of course, is easier said than done, Bill.
Sure is.
Even if you want to do it, it'd be very difficult to intentionally try and pull someone's arm out of the socket. Some of the fans on hand taking in this card of Atlantic Grand Prix Wrestling.
Watching Sonny Warcloud and stopping Paul Peller. This match of today's card of Atlantic Grand Prix Wrestling, and this one has been relatively quiet here. It's unusual for us to see this kind of response, particularly from stopping Paul Peller. It's been a good scientific match.
Maybe this is some strategy on the part of Peller, in that if he riles up Sonny Warcloud in any way, then he might lose out in the sense that the Indians, of course, very emotional wrestlers. Once they get fired up, look out. So this could be a tactic on the part of Paul Peller. Keep the match moving along slowly, deliberately, and then maybe Paul Peller has a chance. If he catches Warcloud napping, Peller can apply the pin, and 1, 2, 3, it'll be all over him. Peller certainly has kept Warcloud off balance.
Referee Bernie Richard warning stopping Paul Peller about the choke on Sonny Warcloud. This match of today's card of Atlantic Grand Prix Wrestling, and Sonny Warcloud looks like he about had enough, I was going to say, of stopping Paul Peller, but Paul Peller able to now regroup and go back into some of his former tactics. As you said, bending as opposed to breaking, and breaking is not a question either.
A little disappointed in Warcloud. He should be able to. I think athletically he's the better wrestler. Now he's starting to show why as he whips Peller into the turnbuckle, a tomahawk chop off the ropes, and now Paul Peller's in trouble. That's what I mentioned, Bill. Warcloud getting a little riled up here. That blood is starting to boil. That Indian blood starting to bubble over. And once Warcloud gets going, look out, stay out of his way.
Up and over goes Sonny Warcloud, and Paul Peller very pleased with himself that he's got Sonny Warcloud on the canvas. Sonny Warcloud has had his hands full in this match against stomping Paul Peller. 1, 2, and 3, that's it, right off the rope. How about that? As soon as I said it, of course it's typical, I think, Gare. Anytime you say something like that, you're always going to get caught. As soon as I said it, Sonny Warcloud is victorious over stomping Paul Peller, and it took about 5 seconds to turn it around. We'll be back with more Atlantic Grand Prix Wrestling in just a moment.
It's our pleasure to welcome to the interview area the International Tag Team Champions, Lou Spoiler and Nikita Kalmikoff, along with the likes of No Class Bobby Bass. We'll chat with these gentlemen in just a moment, but first we'll tell you that these gentlemen and all the many stars of Atlantic Grand Prix Wrestling can be seen tonight at the Amherst Stadium, tomorrow night in New Glasgow, Monday night in Kokan, Tuesday night in Truro, Wednesday night in Fredericton, Thursday night at the Forum in Halifax, Friday night in Bridgewater, and Saturday in Berwick. Let's start with No Class Bobby Bass.
You got a little bit of class. You say start with me, Jack. Let me tell you something. It's going to be party time in the Maritimes. You got the Indian, he's on my list. You got the Cuban Assassins on my list. And you got the 350-pound man himself, Cousin Mike. Well, let me tell you boys something, Daddy. You're all on my hit list, and before the summer's over, you're going to go down to the count of 1, 2, 3. And I know the spoiler has a few words to say to you about a few individuals he does not like in the Maritime, too.
Well, I understand the spoiler at the top of your list is none other than the Cuban Assassin.
Of course, the Cuban Assassin is at the top of my list. He's been interfering in my matches time and time again. I had Leo Burke pinned in the middle of the ring, 1, 2, 3. The international belt was mine. The Cuban Assassin came in and got the decision reversed. I should be the international tag team champions and the international heavyweight champion. But I was robbed from that because of the Cuban Assassin. Cuban, that's the last thing that you'll ever do is come in my matches and destroy what should be mine. Now I'm going to destroy you all over these maritime provinces. Nobody will dare get in the ring with the likes of me and Nikita. We are the international tag team champions. We are going to defend our belts all over the maritime, and we are going to continue to be the international tag team champions.
Welcome back to Atlantic Grand Prix Wrestling as the cheers go up for young Ronnie Hutchinson as he makes his way into the ring area. And now inside his opponent, a man who is, I would say, considerably less liked by fans of Atlantic Canada. Introducing, first of all, to my left, weighing in at 261 pounds from Quebec City, Maniac Frenchy Martin. And his opponent, the pride of Toronto, Ontario, weighing in at 222 pounds, Ronnie Hutchinson.
Ronnie Hutchinson with his hands full against this man they call Maniac Frenchy Martin. And a little bit later on, we're going to go to the arena and see Frenchy Martin's tag team partner. We'll get more about that a little bit later on. But this match is at hand. And here's Ronnie Hutchinson showing no respect for this man. The one time, I guess, he held just about every belt that there is available anywhere. Frenchy Martin, Madman Frenchy Martin. And he's here looking for Leo Burke's International Heavyweight Championship belt. And
the way Frenchy Martin sees this, Ronnie Hutchinson just one of the stepping stones along the trail. And oh, boy, Frenchy Martin. That's uncalled for, Bill, this early.
Yeah, Frenchy Martin's views are annihilate anything that gets in your way till you get to where you want to be, and where he wants to be is Leo Burke. He wants Leo Burke so bad he can taste it. And I'll tell you, I've tried to talk to Frenchy Martin. I've known him for about 15 years, and have seen him. Not that I admire him necessarily, but I do admire his ability. And here you see now exactly what this guy, Frenchy Martin, is all about. Body slamming Ron Hutchinson onto the studio floor and showing no respect for this young man at all. Of course, Ronnie Hutchinson knew that he had to take advantage of the situation right from square one. And now into the studio wall, and that is all concrete, folks. Behind that drape is all concrete. And there goes Ronnie Hutchinson, head first into the concrete wall.
And I hope Ronnie Hutchinson's name is in the prayers of Atlantic Canadians, because...
And onto our studio monitor system. And I'll tell you, this maniac, Frenchy Martin, is come very close to wrecking a whole lot of very expensive electronic equipment you saw on the shot in the corner there a minute ago. Frenchy Martin now taking the coil for our cameras. Folks, we may lose a camera here. If we do, you can just see what Frenchy Martin is up to. Referee Ron Gauguin having great difficulty getting Frenchy Martin back into the ring.
I'm appalled. Bill, this is disgusting. This is... Even from someone like Frenchy Martin, you really don't expect this, but I guess that's why he's been around for so long. He keeps surprising you.
Well, I've warned you, fans, if we lose a camera, it's because we just lost the cable. That's a camera cable that he's using around the throat of Ronnie Hutchinson, and this young man is...
It would be truly miraculous if Ronnie Hutchinson could come back from the beating he has received here at the hands of maniac Frenchy Martin.
Just chopped to the canvas by that big right hand of maniac Frenchy Martin. And I guess it's no wonder that the maniac
certainly applicable in this
Is the
game.
most feared wrestler in probably North America, at least today. And I'll tell you, there's an awful lot of people who don't want to see this man come to their wrestling circuit. And I can think of some awfully famous names around the world who are so-called heroes of professional wrestling today. You mentioned the name Frenchy Martin around them, or Maniac Frenchy Martin, whichever you call him. And they don't want anything to do with them. And I guess you can see why. I can remember another one that went in that same vein was Joe LeDuc. Another one that was...
Once again, Martin looking to draw blood. I don't think he's going to be happy here, Phil, unless he draws blood. And yes, Ronnie Hutchinson is bleeding in the facial area. Martin biting and gouging his opponent. Now he's stomping as Hutchinson tries to work his way back onto the canvas.
Referee Ron Gauguin has just been totally unsuccessful in doing anything with Frenchy Martin. Martin going for a pin now. 1, 2. And no, he lifts his head up at the count of 2. I don't believe this. This is
We've seen him
really sad.
We've seen him do it before. It shouldn't come as any surprise.
This is a sad statement on professional wrestling when someone like that can get into a circuit and, well, he has his opponent beaten and yet showing no respect for the professionalism of young Ronnie Hutchinson. He's certainly being taught a lesson here. The lesson, of course, I guess, is that you don't get in there with a guy like this. 1, 2, 3. That's it. It's all over. And I guess it's a relief that it's all over for young Ron Hutchinson because Maniac Frenchy Martin, well, what can you say? Look, he still continues to punish his opponent after the match is over.
Someone's going to step in here and do something.
Yeah, I'm not sure who can, but we'll be back in just a few moments with more Atlantic Grand Prix Wrestling.
It's our pleasure to welcome to the interview area Maniac Frenchy Martin, along with No Class Bobby Bass, who is here, I understand, in a managerial capacity. We'll hear more about that in just a moment. But first, we want to tell you that these and many of the other stars of Atlantic Grand Prix Wrestling can be seen tonight in Amherst, tomorrow night in New Glasgow, Monday night in Kokan, Tuesday night in Truro, Wednesday night in Fredericton, Thursday night at the Halifax Forum, Friday night in Bridgewater, and Saturday night in Berwick. So what's the story here,
I am
Bob?
so excited, man. I got it all together. I got good news, but I'm not going to be the one to tell you. I'm going to let Monsieur Frenchy Martin tell you the good news, and it's coming down strong, Monsieur Frenchy. Tell the people what's going on today.
Well, just to follow what Leo Burke's been screaming everywhere, that all I have to do is sign a contract. Well, Leo Burke, I'm going to tell you one thing right here. This is what we call a contract, and it's already been signed. The clause are in it. And as you can see right here, monsieur, anybody. That's what I mean, anybody. I went through the Indians, all the bunch of bumps that you have here, beginners and everything. I even went through the mountain of flesh. That cousin Mike, well, I think, Leo Burke, you're in line. I am the Republic's greatest athlete, and I think you have fear of me. And I'm going to challenge you for your international championship belt right here on TV. If you got the intestinal fortitude that it takes, Leo Burke, just walk right up on TV, and I'll challenge you for your title. And I want everybody to see, no matter time, that I'm not a big mouth talker. They might maniac me, but I'm going to tell you one thing, Burke. That 1, 2, 3 that you've dreamed of on the Republic's greatest athlete is not going to come to your mind. And I want it to be right here on TV. And the TV's not over yet. The week is not over yet. The summer is not over yet. And remember one thing, Leo Burke. I'm not here for the season. I'm here for one reason, and that's you.
I'm so excited. Think Leo's shooting his face off. Now, the man got the contract. Well, let's see you do something on it, Burke. You're shooting your mouth off all over.
It's labeled as the best of professional wrestling, and ladies and gentlemen, this next tag team encounter will certainly go a long way to proving that true. We've got quite a battle shaping up here.
Down, Bert.
I'll tell you, I'm going to get out of the middle of this as soon as I can. Introducing, first of all,
Better shake his hand while you can, because you're going down.
first of all,
Down, Bert.
the reigning tag team champions from parts unknown, 270 pounds, the Spoiler. And his opponent from Kiev in the Soviet Union, weighing in at 272 pounds, Nikita Kalmikoff. Their opponent, a tag team considered unlikely just a few seasons ago, but all that has changed from Havana, Cuba, weighing in at 245 pounds, the eighth wonder of the world, the Cuban Assassin. And his tag team partner from Dorchester, New Brunswick, tipping the scales at 235 pounds, a neat, trim, and fit Leo Burke.
Okay, fans, it's championship wrestling here on Atlantic Grand Prix Wrestling today. This match is one fall. 60-minute time limit for the International Tag Team Championship. Yes, the Tag Team Championship belts are on the line for this match. The Spoiler up and over, courtesy of the Cuban Assassin. And Gary Maxwell called it right when he did the introduction. He said, fans, your television set is not out of focus. Things have not been screwed up. This is it. You have the Cuban Assassin as a tag team partner with Leo Burke. Believe it, what you're seeing on television is in fact the truth. Who would have ever thunk it, I think is the expression. Even so much as 6 months ago to a year ago, the Cuban Assassin and Leo Burke, and what a tag team combination they make as they take on for the championship belts today, the Spoiler in the ring, and of course his championship partner, Nikita Kalmikoff. It is championship wrestling on Atlantic Grand Prix Wrestling. The belts are on the line today, and Leo Burke is flying courtesy of the Spoiler, and the Spoiler now is down courtesy of Leo Burke into an armbar.
What tempo! The start of this match, right from the opening bell.
Well, when you put
They've been
those
going all out.
Yeah, when you put those International Heavyweight Championship belts on the line, and there are 4 very seasoned pros in there right now, the Cuban Assassin and Leo Burke, and the Spoiler and Nikita Kalmikoff. Well, you've got 2 of them are champions, and 2 of them are challengers. And when it's over, 2 of them will be champions, and 2 will be challengers. And which one is which, we have to wait for the outcome to see what is going to happen here. But wouldn't it be something, fans, to see the Cuban Assassin and Leo Burke as the International Tag Team Champions?
Take home the hardware, so to
Oh,
speak.
I can't believe it. I want to sit back and watch this one happen. Look at the tag team action going. Leo Burke and the Cuban tagging up. They've already tagged 3 times, and the Spoiler has been in taking all the heat for his team, the championship team of Kalmikoff and the Spoiler.
An arm lock applied by Burke, and fortunately Leo allowed the Spoiler to let the right hand go free, and the Spoiler able to break the hold, and now he tags with Kalmikoff. Big boot to the midsection, another one. Kalmikoff, very aggressive. He, of course, is on a mission from the Soviet Union. A card-carrying member of the Communist Party, Kalmikoff, is out to bring back as many championship titles and belts as he can.
You notice that maneuver
Back
of
behind the
Kalmikoff?
Iron Curtain.
You notice that maneuver of Kalmikoff? He pointed the right hand right at Leo Burke, and of course Leo was watching that one, and just at the point of impact, he brought up the left hand with a clothesline. This guy looks very awkward at times, and I've said that before, but yet he's very destructive. He gets the job done. He's not in there for show, he's in there for the dough. He and the Spoiler.
As Bill and I have mentioned in earlier programs, Kalmikoff, the first wrestler of Soviet origin to appear on these Atlantic Canadian shores, as the Spoiler delivers a face rake to the eyes of Leo Burke. Into the turnbuckle goes Leo, and he's in a bit of trouble right now. A knee to the midsection, a right elbow, another elbow smash. I think one of Burke's greatest abilities, Bill, is he's able to sustain punishment. He can take it.
Well, he can also dish it out, and that, of course, has been his mainstay. That's why he is one of the top professional wrestlers in the United States today and in Canada. And right now, he's at the end of the 2 count. Might possibly have had 3. But there's a tag, and in comes the Cuban. And Cuban was able to save him there for a minute. And look at this guy deliver that right hand right from the canvas. There are a lot of boxers who'd like to be able to deliver a right hand the way the Cuban Assassin does. He not only gets the leverage on it, but he also puts all his weight in delivering that right hand. It looks like a roundhouse, but boy, when you get hit by it, you know it's something on it. Had a step over toe hold there for a moment, but he's just hanging on because he's waiting for Leo Burke to come in and straighten out that leg of Nikita Kalmikoff, the killer from Russia.
The spoiler making the mistake of distracting referee Bernie Richard, and that just allows Cuban Assassin and Leo Burke to gang up that much more on Kalmikoff.
They must have 5 or 6 tags up so far, and they're only into about 5 minutes of this match, so they're doing it about every minute, and that shows you the experience of these guys called the Cuban Assassin and Leo Burke. They've been in this, of course, before. Both of them have been the tag team champions before, and they'd like to have that honor back, this time together. But there's the spoiler in, and everybody is questioning what it is that the spoiler has in that mask, that he's able to do that headbutt, not really feel it himself, to get knocked his opponent flat. Step over toe hold by Leo Burke, and when you get that kind of leverage, as he's got there on your foot, that goes right up to the sacroiliac. The pain.
Ouch. And Leo Burke again delivering an elbow smash to that outstretched left leg of Nikita Kalmikoff. Now the Cuban Assassin will have a go with the knee. They're working on Kalmikoff. Now the strategy on the part of the Cuban and Leo Burke is to keep Kalmikoff in the ring. This is what they have to do, Bill. They have to keep Kalmikoff in the ring. They have to prevent a tag because they're starting to work the Russian over pretty good right now.
Oh, there's a tag, and in comes the spoiler. We'll see how this works out. The spoiler able to get some advantage over the Cuban here.
Boy, there's no letting up in this one, Bill, but this is what happens when you've got championship belts on the line. It's all or nothing.
Well, the Cuban Assassin, of course, is the center of no-class Bobby Bass's frustration. He is man-possessed, but right now the Cuban Assassin's big chore is to get away from this man they call the spoiler. Man is probably the wrong word to be using. But there you see his presence of mind and capability and ability. That's why they are the International Tag Team Champions. Everybody knows, I think, look at that uppercut delivered by Nikita Kalmikoff. I already said that, spoiler. We know why you're the champion. Very surprised that he doesn't have that song playing for him every time he comes into the ring.
Well, they are the champions until proven otherwise, and right now the spoiler and Nikita Kalmikoff starting to do a number
The Cuban
on
Assassin.
the Cuban Assassin.
There's the tag. And in comes Leo Burke. Fans, this match is, if you were to judge this match, down in for the...
This could be the title.
1, 2.
Oh!
Nikita Kalmikoff comes in to break it up. Just in time. Leo
Burke.
Burke.
And the Assassin just that far away. Now they'll get another chance.
Cuban Assassin says, okay, I want to take care of this guy. Leo, you look after that spoiler and get the ball for us and get those championship belts. Go meet him in the center. Into the sleeper goes
Cuban Assassin applying his famous brain buster to Nikita Kalmikoff. Look out! Look out!
Here comes Frenchy Martin into this match. Interfering.
Referee Bernie Richard is calling for a disqualification.
Fans is all broken out here. Frenchy Martin has come in and interfered in this match, and he has Leo Burke all cut. Look at the cut on Leo Burke's forehead, courtesy of Frenchy Martin. And I think Leo Burke and the Cuban Assassin have been declared the winners in this match by virtue of disqualification, which means the belts do not change hands, but Leo Burke does not look like a winner at this point in time. He has taken an awful beating at the hands of Frenchy Martin using the chairs. Referee Bernie Richard. $500. Maniac Frenchy Martin has just been fined $500 for hitting the referee and has caused the disqualification of the spoiler and Nikita Kalmikoff in this match. Meanwhile, Leo Burke is stretched out on the ring floor. We'll be back in just a moment.
Joining us now in the interview area, Cousin Mike and Sonny Warcloud. We'll hear from these gentlemen in just a moment. But first, we want to tell you that these and all the stars of Atlantic Grand Prix Wrestling can be seen tonight in Amherst, tomorrow night in New Glasgow, Monday night in Spokane, Tuesday night in Truro, Wednesday night in Fredericton, Thursday night at the Halifax Forum, Friday night in Bridgewater, and Saturday night in Berwick. Cousin Mike, first of all, let's start with you. You've heard what's happened.
I'm going to tell you one thing. It takes a lot to get me upset. Good people in the Maritimes know I'm a mild-mannered guy. It takes a lot to get me riled up. But when these people like Frenchy Martin keep sneaking around behind people's back and attacking friends of mine like Leo Burke and leaving him in a puddle of blood, I can't take it no more. I'm going to be watching Leo Burke's back along with my good friend Sonny, and I know the Cuban will be there. I don't want to take no more of this time because I know Leo Burke has a mission that he wants to get set underway.
As a matter of fact, they're just here now. Leo,
Gary,
what happened in there?
I knew when I won this belt some 9 months ago that I'd have to be ready to face up to all the adversity that seems to follow a champion. You know, when you're a title holder, everybody wants a piece of you, which happens to be Leo Burke at the present time. As I said before, Frenchy Martin, there's nothing I can do to prevent you from jumping me from behind. But believe you me, there's a lot I can do to get you off my back. It's like giving someone a piece of music instrument. It doesn't mean he can play it. If you can read between the lines, Frenchy, what I'm saying is if you jump behind me, be ready to keep up what you started. Now, this title, I've earned it. Nobody's given it to me. It doesn't mean I'm going to turn my back and hand it to you in a silver platter. You say you want a title match with me on TV? Well, brother, you've got one. You say you want to be here next week? Bring the contract. Leo Burke will bring the title. And believe you me, I may be 25 pounds lighter than you, but that 25 pounds as the match goes on, so feel like a ton to you. And then you be mine, and may God be on your side. You will need all the help you can get, Frenchy. Next week, be here.